Oh, good morning. Good morning. So, this is day two. I'm going to be working on the DT175 here. And I just actually went up to Harbour Freight locally here and I got myself a compression compression test kit. So I'm going to test that today. And then I'm basically just going to take off the head and the cylinder barrel today. So that will be the job. Last night I actually started to source potentially a cylinder barrel and pistons if I need one. So there's a couple of things. One of my friends, Guy Smith, has suggested maybe the crank seal has gone on this as well. Possibly. But I think the first thing I do is we'll do a compression test. I'm expecting it to be pretty low actually. And then I'm going to take off the exhaust system and then the head. So this is what I got. I just got this from Harbour Freight. It was like $30. I've heard good things, bad things about them, but to be honest, it's just a quick check I wanted to do. So even if it's 20% out, I don't really care at this point. So let's get this thing started. So I just opened up this kit. It actually looks quite good quality kit. This key thing is to make sure there's like when you buy one of these compression testers, that it actually has rubber rings. This one might not actually have a. Now this is interesting. Yeah, this has got a Schrader valve in it. So anyway, yeah. So let's get this going. Okay, so I've got a compression gauge in place here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the engine over, and I'm going to do it. Going to do it with the electric drill here on slow mode, and let's see what happens here. So let's watch. Huh. What? Well, that showed me zero compression. What I should do is I'll put it on the other bike and just double check this gauge is working. And if I've got zero compression here, I think I've got a hole in the piston. Anyway, we'll find out. Let's go and check my other bike. Okay, so I've hooked this up to the Suzuki, and we're going to give it a kick over and see if this thing works. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. So it's I just wanted to make sure the thing was actually kicking over, so this works. So that's pretty conclusive. This is good. No compression on the other one. Well, it was pretty conclusive, wasn't it? I just double checked it again on here, and zero compression, which is what I thought. So potentially it's the pistons are completely goosed, hole in the piston, or crankcase seal. So I'm going to take off the exhaust system here and get this head off and see what we've got underneath. I did manage to find a place on the internet that actually sells a complete cylinder piston. If this once I measure the size of this, for like $200. Comes from like Hong Kong or something, but what the hell. Anyway, let's get cracking on with removing these other parts. Oh, and the battery did charge overnight, by the way, so that's got 7 volts on it, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, let's get this exhaust system off. So basically I've already unhooked it down there, so I've unhooked it here, and I think there's only one more bolt. Oh, here. So just take this bolt and I should be able to take off that exhaust system. So let's get that off. So I've disconnected the actual final the muffler here at the back. But to get this actual exhaust off, I need to take this off, which is fine anyway, because I need to fix that connector that broke off the bottom there. So let's get that thing off. We'll take this off, then we'll get the exhaust off. Well, how cool is this for a piece of engineering? I needed to get the exhaust off, as I said here, but just notice there's a hinge here, and when you undo this bolt, ding, it just makes it goes down there. That's pretty damn cool. That's actually very cool. Well, let's be just taking off the exhaust, and I've got access now. I still love this. That's actually brilliant. So I have actually access to the head here. So I'm going to take these off, diagonal sequence, take the head off, and we'll see if we have a blown piston or extremely worn rings, or what mess this is in underneath. So let's just get the head off. Well, I'm loving working on this bike because this is it's like mechanical. It's the most simplistic thing you could ever do. Just noticed there's actually some rust here on the forks at the top there. But anyway, here's the inside of the head. It's completely coked up here. No big surprise. But it's actually apart from decoking that, which will be easy enough, that's actually fine. So big thing, what do we have here in this hole? So let me bring the piston up and we'll see what we've got. And we'll see what we get. Wow. So no hole in the piston. And it's wow. Well, that's interesting. So I think the next thing to do here is to maybe it could be the crank. Maybe the seal could be bust in the crankcase. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't make any sense actually when I think about it, guy, because yeah, it's I wouldn't give us no compression because it would still, because this is actually all sealed, so the piston rings must be worn completely. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get a light. I'm going to look in the bore here. I think actually maybe I'll put the feeler gauge down and see what the gap is here around the piston, and see if we've got a leakage here. Okay, I'll get the feeler gauge out. Okay, so I just spent the last hour decarbonation of the cylinder head, which is much better. This is with a blunt screwdriver, scraping it off, and then with a scouring pad and some solvent. That looks much better. And it's actually, I mean, there's obviously some nicks, but it's actually pretty good. So I'm happy with the head. I'm going to do the piston needs to get done here too, and I could really do that with it off, but you know, this piston is not. I'm just going to rub this with solvent at the moment, just take this off while it's here. I'm thinking, to be honest, that when I took these head nuts off, they were actually pretty loose. I'm just wondering whether the head wasn't tightened down to because I was getting no compression. I'm just wondering if the head wasn't actually tightened down on this and it's escaping. I don't have a new gasket. Unfortunately, I don't have another gasket to put on this shit, but I think what I'm going to do is clean this up a little bit. Put the head back on and torque it up to the specs and see if we've got a compression. Just wondering whether it was leaking. Okay, that's the next job. Okay, so I just actually cleaned this up slightly. I was going to put the head back on, but I've decided I'll put a feeler gauge straight down the side of this and I could get a 3/1000 feeler gauge all the way down there. Now, obviously there has to be some play, but I just thought, since I have the manual across here, I just thought, since I'm at this stage, I may as well just take this off and measure. It's going to be pretty easy to get on and off. And what I had to do is, according to the manual there, just had to make a little wooden rest here. So when I actually take off the cylinder, put this over the con rod, and this will keep the piston upright and not damage the skirt at the bottom. So let me take the head off now. Okay, I'll just take off the cylinder, and there's markings going up and down there. You can see inside it. There's no scoring per se, but this does look as if it's been hot at some point. I'm actually quite impressed actually with the how clean the head came up there. Anyway, but if I even doubt why there's no compression on this bike, check out this. Oh man, these piston rings are just, you see how it's all burnt here? I'm going to take this off, but they are completely stuck in there, I'm pretty sure. And I think I'll need to get a top end of this, so I'm probably going to spend $200. If I could get a new top end for $200, piston, gunging, that, I think we're going to be sweet. I think we are going to be sweet. So yeah, there you have it, folks. That's why I wasn't getting any compression. And I'm going to take this off and see if we can get these rings out. Anyway, okay, let's try that. So I've got the piston off. You can see there's been heat damage to it, but the you can see the piston's actually jammed inside the groove here for the piston. But I just actually spread that apart with a little Swiss screwdriver, and this one is here, and then moved apart. So you know, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to measure. I mean, I'm going to have to get a new piston and top for this, but it may be interesting to try to see if I could just put this, see if, no, it's actually spring clear here. I'm going to measure it to see what the gap is and see how much weight it is. I mean, I do need a new piston, and a new top. But since I'm getting that anyway, I may as well try and continue on with this little merry project to see if I can get it running. That'd be quite fun. Okay, let me try the bottom one, and then I'll measure the piston diameters, etc. There's no scores on it. There is heat, but there's no scoring. I mean, there's no real that I can see. But that looks pretty bad. Pretty bad. Check that out. This must have been... I'm surprised the thing never seized completely. Anyway, okay. Let's get to the other ring, loosened, and measure this thing up. Well, I tried to clean this thing up, but it's not working. I could get the bottom one sort of working, but it's this top one just sticks in there. So that is ghost. So effectively, I either need to get a new piston, and you can see the amount of kludge in the bottom. I need to either get a new piston, get that bored out. This looks good actually. I'm still happy with this. So this is fine. This I could get bored out, I guess. I couldn't see any cracks or anything in it, so I could do that. But as I said, I saw this thing online, and this piston is actually standard 66mm. I just actually measured the dimensions of it. So I think what I'm going to do is just send off for the barrel and piston kit, and spend a couple of $100. What the hell? And see if we can get this thing going when it gets back. I have no idea if there's anything else. I've no idea if there's anything else on this that's actually broke in terms of the transmission of the oil and things like that. But yeah, that was actually burnt. So effectively, the problem we've had has been sticky rings. So the rings stuck, and then they stuck in flush, and then effectively, because they were flush, we ended up burning the cylinder. And since this is steel insert and this is aluminium, this got more marks on it than that one. Oh, there we go. So this project is going to be on hold until I get this stuff sorted out. Okie dokie, folks.